Welcome to assignment 2, name tags and dog tags. We're going to try and recreate something like a name tag or a luggage tag or a dog tag in Tinkercad. As you can see, I am already in our class right there. If I can just click on content is where it will take me to all of the work that we have to do. We are still in module 1. This is lesson 2. I'm going to work under the assumption that you were in our live class. If you are not in our live meet, I would highly suggest that you click on lesson 2 and go through the slides and go through the things that we would have talked about in the class. It will give you some inspiration. It will give you some great tips about what we were doing. So today we are going to walk through the assignment part of this. Now obviously there are some examples of the things that you can create here. I am going to just create one on my own. I'm just going to design my own unique tag. Okay. Obviously most of that work will be in assignment 2. So I'm going to click on assignment 2 and I'm quickly going to read the things that it's going to ask me to do. Follow the instructions, dog tags and name tags. That's the lesson part, and complete the work for this assignment. So I'm going to go into Tinkercad. Multiple ways of finding it. I will just go up here, click on Student Tools, and click Tinkercad, and it will take me right to Tinkercad right there. Oh, I don't know if that will actually. That's going to join my class. I've already joined it. I'm just going to go up to the top here and type in Tinkercad. If you had not had that up, there it is. It's Tinkercad. If you need to log in, then log in. Now I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to my new design. I'm actually just going to create a new 3D design. As you can see here, it takes me right to my Tinkercad work plane. Okay, I'm going to use the theme of mountains in mine. I really enjoy the mountains. I really enjoy being in the mountains. And so I've already played around with it. Obviously, I already have a bit of an idea in my head. And so, by the way, my favorite thing about Tinkercad is how it comes up with just ridiculous names whenever you start a project. Dazzling Mamu Full Fee. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to start with a cylinder. I know that seems a bit odd because I'm actually going to make that the sun, this big sun in the background of my design. I'm going to click the corner here because I want to make it bigger, but I'm actually going to click Shift at the same time because then it will keep the proportions of it. If I don't do that and I just try and freehand it, notice that I can make it longer, I can make it, I can distort it in ways, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to click Command Z so it brings it back to there, and I'm going to go Shift and make that bigger. Now obviously that isn't a name tag because the name tag to me is going to be something that's more two-dimensional, and so I'm actually going to bring that all the way down to the plane right there, almost flat, maybe a bit there. How about 0? Can I click 0 on here? I may not be able to. There it goes, right down to the plane. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So Shift and click, there we go, a little bit bigger. Second step, I want to make a little key ring at the very top here because otherwise it won't be able to join up. And so with that, I'm just going to pick something. Obviously, I could make it out of a cylinder and just create a hole in it, but there is just this right here. I'm just going to use that, and I'll use the same color of it. And so if I click and drag it onto it, it will actually drop right onto my work plane. It will drop on top of this one. You notice that this green one is actually a different work plane. The reason is because it drops on top. Now obviously that is not lined up, and I did that on purpose because I want to show you a very cool tool to use. Highlight both of them, so click and drag and highlight them both, and then I want to use this align tool. The align tool makes sure that you can put things right in the middle, and so if I click on this little number right here, it will move it right to the middle, and I know exactly that that's in the middle from left to right. If I click here, it will actually put it right in the center. I don't want to do that. Okay, and so I can click off of it. I am now not on the align tool anymore. That is much too thick, and so I'm going to click on it and just make it a little bit smaller. Maybe not 0 this time. How about I don't know, 1.99? That sounds about right. Okay. I'm also not too happy about where that placement is. I feel like it's too close, and so I'm going to move it up here. Now, what I should have done is I should click Shift and move it up, because if I click Shift and move up, it will actually keep it in line. I can't move it. Here we go. Oh, and I clicked the wrong button. That's why I click Command Shift, click up here, And there we go. It keeps it in line. I actually can't move it left to right. Well, unless I really try. So there we go. Now I know that that is still lined up. That is the start of it. Now I know I'm a big mountains person, and so I'm going to make it a mountain theme. I'm going to go to basic shapes here. I'm going to go to structures and scenery, and you can probably tell I'm going to grab that mountain there. Now again, that to me, that isn't the name tag, that isn't the dog tag. That's you know, that's something that's three-dimensional. I don't want it to be three-dimensional. I want it to be two-dimensional on top. And so I want to squish this down. But if I squish it down using this using this right here, then it's going to squeeze it down. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If I move this one in, it's going to make it so that it's flattened in this direction. That's the direction I want. Otherwise, it will not. It won't look like anything. Now, if I can make it kind of flat here, all right, I look at it and say, yeah, I kind of like those mountains. Those look kind of funky. But now I need to drop it, right? I need to make sure that it drops, and there's your little tool right there. And I can just turn it 90 degrees. Sorry, 45 degrees. Okay, bring it here. And then also I need to then turn it again. Whoops, not that one. This one here. I need to turn it another 45 this way. Okay, again, this is much too big. Well, it's actually not much too big. Shift, click, so that it keeps the proportions, and then I'm going to pop it on top. And if I have it chosen, so you can see that I have it chosen, if I click D, it will drop right onto that plane right there. And so that's really useful to know. And now I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that it fits a little bit better. Again, I clicked Shift there so that it keeps the proportions of it. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I think I am pretty happy with that. And so now I'm going to put my little initials up here just because, you know, I want it to know that it's mine. Right? Say I'm traveling or something. Letters, and I'm just going to get a P and a V because those are my initials. Did I miss it? Probably. Let's see here. No, I did not. More shapes. You know, it would be great if they had it in alphabetical order. If you put it here, it will drop it right onto the work plane. Boom. Right onto the work plane, and so I know that it's actually dropped right on there. So there, I'm going to move it, and I'm going to now make it a little bit, let's see here, if I move that, there we go, I'm happy with where that is. I'm going to go here to the V, oh, there's the V right there, I'm going to place it right beside it, right there. And again, I could use the align tool and line things up. I can also use the grid, of course, right? Because this is just a humongous grid, and so I can zoom right in and make sure that it matches up. You know, I'm actually fairly happy with that. Just at the end, what I might do is just click the whole thing and just make it a union so that it actually links up together. So that now if I move something, I can move the whole thing together so that it's not. If I ever want to undo that, it just breaks right there. I can just break that union. Okay. Final step in your assignment, of course, would be I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and I can take the whole screen, or I can just take a screenshot of that right there, and then I would use that screenshot in my assignment template so that I can reflect on what this means and why I chose to make it. Okay, good luck in your assignments.